says if you're planning to go to Los Angeles, the police cannot guarantee your safety. With me now, Los Angeles Police Detective Jamie McBride, the director of the LA Police Protective League. Sir, very good to have you join us, and thank you for taking the time. Is it that bad?
It is. You know, I've been in law enforcement in Los Angeles for 31 years. I haven't seen crime like this since the mid-'90s. Homicides are up everywhere. There's the most homicides we've had in the last 25 years. You know, and I heard George Gascon yesterday at his press conference talking about the suspect that killed Jacqueline Avant. And what he said was that the criminal justice system failed him, the suspect, that he should have been involved in more programs each time he got arrested. That's insane. I mean, I don't think any program is going to help anybody like a Jeffrey Dahmer or a Richard Ramirez. There's this evil that exists in the world, and people need to realize that, and that evil needs to be locked up. You know, we had a 12-year-old boy that was shot down just the other day. His mother was also shot, and a 9-year-old girl was shot in the back in the playground. You know, one minute this poor kid is excited about Christmas, and his mom's planning on what to buy him, and now she's planning his funeral. That's what's going on, you know. And when I see the soft on crime approach that George Gascon and also another soft on crime district attorney up north in San Francisco, crime in both cities are just crazy. It's like living in the movie Purge. Every day is crime is just running rampant. Nobody cares. The officers are doing their job. We constantly arrest people. We put them in jail, and they're literally getting released faster than the officer can finish the report. And they're throwing their hands up. They're frustrated because they want to protect the citizens of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So the only thing we can say is, if you're planning to come to Los Angeles for Christmas or to visit, please don't. We can't assure your safety. And I feel for the small business owners saying that, because I know they need a business. But there's only one thing we gain from telling you not to come to Los Angeles, is that we know you'll be safe. And that's enough for us.
If you think about it, Detective, I'm sorry, sir, this is playing out in a number of cities, including New York, where there's almost like a turnstile when you go to see, be arraigned on something, you're let go. And I know in California, had this unique situation where they tried to limit the number of cases involving those for petty theft. So I think it's up to $2,000 worth of goods you steal, and they won't even bother with you. And that encouraged people to steal up to $2,000 and then some goods. And it's accelerated beyond just simple burglaries to homicides and the like that are now, again, at multi-year records. So when I heard Mr. Gascon talk about some crimes are going down, what is he talking about? Because the numbers I'm looking back, so robberies, burglaries, life-threatening incidents, homicides are going up at a double-digit clip.
Well, you know what? He's saying that robberies are down and some other crimes are down. He's actually wrong. What's going on are people are getting robbed at record numbers. They're just not reporting it. They live in fear in some parts of the city of Los Angeles, and they're just not reporting the crimes to the law enforcement. So crimes, you can't say that robberies are down, but yet murders are up. It doesn't happen. If there's violence when there's murders, there's going to be violence when there's robberies. So that's what's going on. Nobody's reporting these crimes, or just not as much.
But they're also happening, Detective, to your point, they're also happening, to your point, and we're seeing this in the New York area as well, in brazen attacks at that, in broad daylight. And sometimes, forget about running out of the store that's been rampaged, they're walking out. And sometimes folks are holding the door open for them. I mean, what the heck?
Well, you know what, and let's not forget, some of these city leaders, like George Gascon and others, they're actually blaming the victim because they wear nice jewelry, they wear nice clothing, they carry a nice purse, and they're telling them not to do that. I mean, I don't know what goes on in his head. He's really delusional. And you know what? I put him at as fault as the same person that committed some of these murders, because he's letting these people out. And if I could, I would arrest him for accessory to murder, because I think he's responsible for some of these murders. Something needs to be done with him. It needs to be recalled. Same with the district attorney in San Francisco. And that's what needs to be done in order to protect our citizens.
Yeah, it's just wild. Even when I think in Chicago, where the mayor is saying that retailers have to do more to crack down on this sort of stuff in their stores. Would if they could. Detective, thank you very, very much. We'll keep an eye on all of this.
This is pure insanity. Even our far-left mayor thought it was too much. But you know what interests me? Some of this stuff could backfire. You've probably seen the polls, Senator. The Republican Party is now getting as much of the Hispanic Latino vote as the Democratic Party. Now, this is something I know you've worked on, and Trump worked on this. We have attracted tremendous gains among the Hispanics who tend to be church-going, law and order, small business folks. I mean, I just find that interesting, somewhat ironic.
Well, you look at the Hispanic community, the values that resonate in our community, their faith, family, patriotism, hard work. And I got to say, particularly in South Texas, South Texas has historically been a Democrat region of the state. But South Texas is bearing the brunt of the chaos at our southern border. 2 million people have crossed illegally into this country since Joe Biden became president. It's the highest rate of illegal immigration in 61 years. And in South Texas, so I've done roundtables down there in the past months where I've sat down with farmers and ranchers and sheriffs and law enforcement and local elected officials. And they're so angry. And the elected officials, many of them are Democrats. And they've said to me over and over again, listen, if the Democratic Party is the party of open borders, I can't be for that. 2 million people flooding into your country, flooding into your state, flooding into your schools and your hospitals. The cities are going broke. It's overwhelming the systems. And I think we're going to see big pickups. Actually, a former staffer of mine, a woman named Cassie Garcia, is fantastic, is running for Congress in South Texas. I've endorsed her. I think she has a great opportunity for a Republican pickup in South Texas. And the city of McAllen, historically a very Democratic city, just a few months ago elected a Republican mayor. And that's because the voters there said, this is madness. The lawless Biden, Harris, and open borders, it doesn't make sense. And I think they're ushering in a whole generation of Hispanics who are voting Republican.
I'm going to get my producers to book her. I want to interview her.
Good.
Excellent. Let me switch gears slightly.